Alright, this is going to be a demonstration of a custom voicemail system I've been working on. So I say I've been working on, but really this has been completed for over a year now. I'm just finally getting around to making a video on it, and that's kind of a good thing because I've worked out most of the bugs and anything with it, and I've added a few features to it, so yeah. But I'm going to go over the software portion first because that's the boring part, and then I'll go over demonstrating it. So this is written with VoiceXML. It is a XML-based scripting / markup language used to define IVRs and other telephony applications. Really similar to HTML, except instead of viewing an HTML page through a web browser, you are dialing into a voice gateway, which is served a VoiceXML document through a web server, and then interacting with it through a telephone. So really similar. It was standardized around the early 2000s and became pretty popular, and it's still in use today. So if you're ever interacting with like some company's proprietary telephone menu, whether it be an IVR or some system to like check your card balance or whatever, it's very likely that it's written with VoiceXML. Now, VoiceXML is static on its own, so it can't really change. It can't do a whole lot. I mean, it can do a lot, but it can't dynamically change based on like the contents of a database or something. So I'm using classic ASP with VBScript, which is a server-side scripting, to dynamically generate the VoiceXML documents. And all of the information, like the mailboxes, the user settings, the messages, and all that, those are all stored in Microsoft SQL Server. And then the only thing not in SQL Server is the audio portion of anything. So whether it be the prompts that the voicemail system uses to put together menus that you interact with, or the messages that people leave, or your greeting, or any of that, that's all stored as just WAV files in a file system. And then there's a little bit of C# being used. One thing it's being used for is sending emails out, which is really boring, and I'm not going to demonstrate that in this video, but it works just like any PBX system where whenever someone leaves you a voicemail, you receive a email message alongside it, and it attaches the message to it, or it attaches the audio file to it, and it gives you the caller information. So that's how that works. But the other thing it's being used for is sending message waiting indicator signals out. So I have a C# service that sends out SIP message waiting indicator status messages. So you can either direct that straight to a phone if you had a phone that was SIP and could accept that, or you can send it to a gateway that then forwards the message waiting indicator status to the phones themselves. And that's the way I'm doing it in my system here. So this Cisco phone is on Call Manager Express, and it's being used, the message waiting indicator message is sent to the router, and then the router sends that status to the phone. Anyway, more information than you needed, but that's how the software portion works. The reason I made this voicemail system is, the primary thing is I redirect my cell phone calls through a custom like routing system hosted here. And that's been in use for like a year and a half now. But basically, whenever you call my cell phone number, it reaches an application here, which then directs the call either to a phone next to my bed if you call me in the middle of the night, or my cell phone if I'm away, or straight to a phone on my desk if I'm home. So that system's set up, but as soon as I set that up, I can't use the carrier provided voicemail anymore. So I made a very basic like answering machine almost into that software, where whenever I wouldn't answer the phone, it would pick up and say leave a message at the tone, it would record it, and then it would just put it in a file system, and I would just check that folder to see if there's any new messages. But it worked fine, but it was super limited, and it didn't have anything special to it. So I wanted to make a fully featured voicemail system of my own. There are other systems I could have used, but it's fun to make your own because then you can customize it however you want. The other reason is I have a lot of PBXs that do not have voicemail built into them, and that was pretty common with older PBX systems. So same with the central office switches, they didn't have voicemail integrated into them. It was a separate piece of equipment. So if you're a central office, you have an Octel voicemail or whatever other providers made the big voicemail servers. Or if you have like a Northstar, you can have a Nortel call pilot attached to it, which it's just a little voicemail system that will answer the calls that are busy, or if someone doesn't answer the phone, and take in messages and store it on a hard drive. So I wanted to make my own system that I can integrate with my PBXs that don't have it already. So that's the few reasons. And also, it's just fun. Why not make your own voicemail system, right? So let's go over the phones that are in use here. I have a Cisco 7941 here. This is a pretty was a pretty common Cisco IP phone. A lot of them have been replaced by now, but I still like these old ones. They work great. It's a 7941. It's registered to my Cisco router running Call Manager Express, or CME. This one has a number of 884-3001. Here we have a Lucent 7507 ISDN phone. These are really interesting, and I'm definitely going to make a video on them in the future. They connect to central office switches over a ISDN BRI connection. Not that showing you the cable would tell you what kind of signal is over it, but that's what that is. And this one is designed to connect to a 5ESS. I do not have a 5ESS, unfortunately. I really wish I did. But they're kind of hard to get working without the real switch that they're meant for. So this is connected to an Adtran Atlas, which I will show you in a moment when I go show you the Cisco router. So it will work for basic call processing, so it can make calls, it can receive calls. And it was the only other phone I had with a decent speakerphone, so may as well use that. And the date is 10 years in the past because I can't set the clock to the year 2025 on this. So this one is on 884-3002. And the message light will not be functioning because I have no way to tell it to turn that light on. And this phone over here is an analog 2500 set on an FXS line, standard touch-tone phone, and message waiting indicator does work on this. The Cisco router will provide a stutter dial tone if there's a message waiting for this phone. So I will try to show that. It's a little quiet, but I'll try to show that later on. And this one's on 884-3003. So that's the three telephones I'm going to use to demonstrate this. And let me show you what they're connected to. So I come in here and over to my rack. We have two Cisco routers. The one on the bottom, the 2U one, is a Cisco 2851. That's my main phone system and my main router and everything. So that Cisco phone is registered to it. The analog phone's plugged straight into an FXS port on it. And then the Adtran Atlas, I'll show you in a second, is also connected to that. But the router on top of it, that Cisco 2811, that is acting as a VoiceXML gateway. And it's also running some of my TCL applications and other fax-based things. So that is a feature you can use on these older Cisco routers. At least the ones from this era do not have any licensing required to use VoiceXML on them. So they're a great thing to learn VoiceXML on. And then those two are connected to each other using an ISDN PRI, which is a T1 interface. And then up here we have the Adtran Atlas 550. This is what's being used to drive that ISDN phone. I don't really know what to call this thing. It's kind of just a phone gateway, I guess. It has telephony interfaces that can be ISDN or whatever digital interface, and then you can have analog interfaces on them. So this is one of the few things I have that can provide a BRI and emulate a DMS 100 or a 5ESS switch as network side. So that's all this is being used for, is to drive that phone. And if you saw that alarm light flashing, I don't know why, but it does not like to play nice with my Cisco router for T1. This is the only thing I have trouble with T1 integration on. And then up here we have a NT1 that converts the ISDN U interface coming out of the Adtran into an ST interface that the phone can use, and then that goes through this power injector thing out to the phone. So that's the hardware. And if we come back out here, I guess I can start demonstrating this. One thing to note is because it's running on a Cisco router, and Cisco routers support an amazing number of different telephony interfaces, this can integrate with pretty much anything. The voicemail system only needs two pieces of information. It just needs the number that was dialed and what number it's coming from. So who's calling and who are they calling? As long as you can provide those two pieces of information, it'll work. So if you're using ISDN like I am, it works. Or you can use SIP, or you can use a feature group D trunk with MF signaling, or you can use an analog interface. As long as ANI and DNIS are present, it'll work. So the first thing I'm going to show is just leaving a message on the Cisco phone here. So I will show you two different ways to do it. Well, same way, but well, let's just start by leaving a regular message on it. So I'm going to call it from this ISDN phone. I'm going to let it ring over and over, and it rings for about 20 seconds. So once this times out, we will get the greeting. Sorry. Is unavailable. You may leave them a message after the tone. Hang up when you are done, or press pound for more options. Okay, so you heard it said, sorry, and then it spoke the name greeting of this phone, which is Dom Tuffy. And then it said, record your message at the tone, and that's what we're doing now. So, very basic voicemail operation, and I'm gonna have to remember to not talk over this when it's playing the prompts, because I want you to be able to hear all the different things that it says. But in any case, let's just hang up and that'll leave a message. So it works just like any other voicemail system there is. And now what I'll show you is the menu that you can get to afterward to change different options about your message. So let's call the Cisco phone from this analog one. Pick that up, just so there's a call going, and I'll call the Cisco one from the ISDN phone again, and because it's busy, it'll go straight to voicemail instead. Sorry. Is unavailable. You may leave them a message after the... And unlike so many modern voicemail systems, you can press pound and it'll just skip right through the greeting. I don't know why, but modern voicemail system designers seem to leave this out, especially like the new iPhone voicemail does not have that. You have no option of skipping the person's 2.5-minute greeting. So definitely implemented that on mine. So now what we'll do is we'll press pound to go to the menu and I'll re-record this message. To listen to your message, press 1. To re-record your message, press 2. To deliver your message, press 3. To mark this message as high priority, press 4. To set a callback number, press 5. I'll press 2 to re-record it. Begin recording at the tone. Hang up when you are done, or press pound for more options. And now I'm re-recording this message. So the previous one I left has been discarded, and this will be the one that'll be sent to the mailbox. And you can either press pound to get to that menu, or you can just stop talking. So I will mute this, because this Dell server we're sitting next to is kind of not quiet. To listen to your message, press 1. And there we go. To re-record your message, press 2. And we can listen to it. And now I'm re-recording this message. So the previous one I left has been discarded, and this will be the one that'll be sent to the mailbox. And you can interrupt this at any given point with a new digit, so I'll deliver it by pressing 3. Thank you. Goodbye. That's something nice about VoiceXML. No, unless you explicitly disable it, it will always support a caller interrupting any prompt with a touch tone, or if you have the text-to-speech and speech recognition package, server software that's used for that, you can also interrupt it by speaking over it if you want to be rude. But yeah, so you can skip any prompt in the system by just interrupting it with a touch tone. So I'm going to hang this up, and we're going to retrieve our messages on this phone. So to get to your mailbox, you just dial your own number, and we'll notice that even though I remained silent for quite a long time before it actually gave me the menu, when we listen to that second message, we will hear that it removed a good portion of that silence. There'll still be a little bit, but it tries to shorten as much as it can at the end of the message if you just stop talking instead of hanging up. So to get to your mailbox, we'll dial our own number, 884-3001 in this case. I'm going to mute because we don't need to talk to it. Please enter your password, followed by pound. So it's asking for my password, followed by pound. I'm going to do that. Very secure password of 1234.
Hello, you have 2 new messages. To listen to your new messages, press 1. To listen to your saved messages, press 2. To change your mailbox settings, press 9. To exit, press 0.
So we can listen to our new messages, our saved messages, change our settings. I'm going to listen to new messages.
First message received at 12:47 p.m. from Tandem-X number 8843002. Okay, so you heard it said...
And here's me talking over this message. So you heard it said Tandem-X number. That's because I plan to integrate this with a collectors network I'm a part of, and 7-digit numbers are classified as Tandem-X numbers in this case.
And I'm going to have to remember to not talk over this when it's playing.
I'm going to listen through my long message here.
I want you to be able to hear all the different things that it says. But in any case, let's just hang up and that'll leave a message. To listen to this message again, press 1. To hear message details again, press 2. To place a return call, press 3. To save this message, press 7. To report this message as abuse, press 8. To move to the next message, press 9. To go back, press 0.
So there are all our different options to do with each message. I'm just going to go to the next message by pressing 9.
Next message received at 12:49 p.m. from Tandem-X number 8843002. And now I'm re-recording this message. So the previous one I left has been discarded, and this will be the one that will be sent to the mailbox. And you can either press pound to get to that menu, or you can just stop talking. So I will mute this. To listen to this message.
And there we have it. So it tried to remove as much silence at the end as it could tell, so that's how that works. And instead of going to the next message, I will save this one by pressing 7.
Move to the next message, press 9. Message saved. End of new messages. To listen
And there
to
we
your
have
new
it.
messages.
So, the way this works is instead of explicitly deleting messages, it works like an old answering machine does, where if you move to the next message, it deletes that one. But, so, how do I explain this? On old answering machines, when you're listening to your messages, you had a save button. I actually have one that has this, and I really should have brought it over here so I can show you. But if you want to keep the message you just listened to, you save it. Otherwise, you go to the next one. So that's how this works as well. You press 7 to save the message you just listened to, or if you press 9, it deletes it and moves on. Now, there's a few other custom options in there. Like I said, I was planning to integrate this with a collectors network called TandemX that I'm a part of. And that is why there's a report abuse option, which I will demonstrate that later just for the fun of it. And one thing you might have noticed is when you're listening to the message, there's a little like beep before the start of the message and a little beep before the end of the message. That is intentionally put there, and I did that because one, it's easier when I was originally developing this and I never removed it, so I can tell what is a message and what is a prompt. But also, because I'm recording my messages here and I was the one who voiced all the prompts, it's kind of hard to tell if it's the voicemail system talking or me talking into the voicemail system. A whole lot of talking to myself going on over here. So that's retrieving messages. It works just like you would expect. So now what I'm going to do is, because it reads back the number type differently, I'm going to call this phone through itself through a DISA. So what that is a DISA is basically you dial a PSTN number to get an internal dial tone. So do I even bother explaining this? I'm just going to call into my system through the PSTN. We'll leave it at that. That's an internal dial tone, and I'll dial this phone.
Sorry. Is unavailable. You may leave them a message after the tone. Hang up when you are done.
Oh, I hit pound twice. Man, this is like already going off the rails. Let me try this again.
Sorry. Is unavailable. You may leave them a message after the tone. Hang up when you are done, or press pound for more options.
Okay, I know that was a lot, and it was confusing, and it's not the best way I could have demonstrated this, but all you have to know is I just called this voicemail system through a DISA, which is basically calling out to the PSTN and then back into my own system to get an internal dial tone. So the number that this message is going to be from is a PSTN number, so we'll be able to hear it read it back differently. Now I'll just hang up. And the reason I messed it up the first time is I hit pound twice by accident, trying to interrupt the greeting. My DISA will break back to internal dial tone if you press pound twice, just so that you don't have to dial back to it and enter the passcode again. But in any case, now that I've left a message over the PSTN on this, let's call back in and hear it read the number type differently.
Please enter your password. Hello. You have one first message received at 12:55 p.m. from PSTN number 20863900185. Okay.
And now we have
I know
that
that
message.
was a lot, and it was confusing.
So I'm just going to press 9,
End of new messages. To listen to your new
and
messages.
we're done. So, based on the type of number that it gets, it'll read it with a different cadence. That's only implemented for 7-digit versus 10-digit numbers, and if it ever receives an 11-digit number where the first digit is a 1, it'll convert it to a 10-digit number. So that's that. Now, I guess, let me show you 2 of the other features that this has. I'm going to leave a message from the ISDN phone, and I'm going to mark it high priority, and you'll see that when it reads it back, it says marked as high priority. So let's do that. Let's just take this off hook, redial.
Sorry.
Okay.
is unavailable.
This is my very high priority message that is very urgent.
To listen to
And
your
we'll mark it
message,
as high
press
priority
1.
by pressing 4.
Re-record your message. Press message marked as high priority. To listen
And we'll
to your
deliver it.
message. Thank you. Goodbye.
So the purpose of this is if you have an urgent message and you're calling someone who gets a whole bunch of voicemails, instead of ordering the messages only by the date they were received when you listen to them, that's what it does by default. If there's a message that's marked as high priority, it'll put that one at the top of the queue, if that makes any sense. So let's listen to that message.
Please enter your password. Hello. You have first message marked as high priority received at 12:57 p.m. from TANMX number 884.
So
30.
the only difference is it says marked as high priority, and it's not obvious, but it orders it where the high priority messages come first. And let's save this message.
To place a return call.
Well, actually, no, I already saved
Save
one.
this message.
So
Press end
let's
of
go
new
9.
messages. To listen to your new messages, press 1. To listen to
And
your
while
saved
we're at it,
messages,
let's
press
just
2.
show
To change your
listening to
mailbox,
saved
press
messages.
9.
So to listen to your saved messages, you press 2.
First message received at 12:49 p.m. from TANMX number 8843002. And now I'm re-recording.
And here is the message that we left earlier. And at the end of it, it gives almost the same exact options as if it were a new message. So I'll let you hear that.
Either press pound to get to that menu, or you can just stop talking. So I will mute this. To listen to this message again, press 1. To hear message details again, press 2. To place a return call, press 3. To remove this saved message, press 7. To report this message as abuse, press 8. To move to the next message, press 9. To go back, press 0.
So now 7 has removed the saved message. So if I do that,
Endo saved messages.
And we go to
listen your
save
new
messages again.
Press 1. You have no saved messages. To
so
listen to
that's how saved messages work. Otherwise, all the other options are exactly the same. Move to the next message goes to the next saved message that you have on your mailbox, except it does not delete the one that you just listened to. So that's that. And then one of the other options is placing a return call. I really should have left that message in there so I could have done that. So let's leave another message from the ISDN phone. And let's just use the do not disturb key.
Sorry. Is unavailable. You may leave them a message.
So this message is very important and I want a return call. So we're gonna, when we listen to this one, we're gonna press 3 and place a return call back to the ISDN phone.
Thank you.
So how the return call works is whenever you're listening to your messages through your mailbox, it already knows your caller ID. So when you press 3, it'll say you're being transferred, and it'll send you back out another trunk to the number that left the call or left the message. So when I press 3 and I'm listening to my own message, it's going to place a new call out to the ISDN phone that left the message using my caller ID. So you'll see, well, this phone doesn't have caller ID. Not a good demonstration, is it? But if this phone could display the calling number, you would see the original number that's calling into the voicemail system. It does not use any form of internal number. It just passes it through. So let's demonstrate that. We could just do redial. If I can press the soft key, goodness.
Please enter your password. Followed. Hello. Your first message.
New message and all.
12:59.
Well, let's just
from TANMX number 884.
let's do this. Just skip the message itself.
Yeah, from TANMX number 8843002. To listen to this message again, press 1. To hear message details again, press 2. To place a return call, press 3.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to place a return call by pressing 3, and I'll let you listen to the announcement that it says for that.
9. You are being transferred. You may hold the pound key to return to this menu, or wait for the other party to hang up.
And there we go. Mute that immediately so we don't get feedback. But now we've placed a return call from this phone through the voicemail system. So that's how that works. And then to hang up, either you can wait for the party that you placed a return call to hang up, so I'll show that, and it'll go straight back to the menu in the voicemail system.
To listen to this message again,
or
press 1. You are being transferred. You may hold the pound.
What you can also do is if you want to hang up on the person you called back, you can hold pound. And this is something that's custom, that's integrated into Cisco gateways. It'll work in TCL 2.0 applications and VoiceXML. It's a really nice feature, but I don't know why it's not very common in other gateways. But in any case, to hold pound, these Cisco IP phones send a fixed length DTMF digit, so I'm actually just going to press pound twice quickly.
To To listen to this message again,
and that
press
works.
1. To hear message details again, end of new messages.
So that's placing a return call back to the person who left a message. Now, one of the options is to request a call back at a different number. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, let's leave a message on this analog phone. Well, how do I want to do that? Let's leave a message on the Cisco phone from the analog phone. You're not going to be able to hear the prompts as I do this, but I'll use do not disturb. I'll skip the greeting. And here is my message I'm leaving through this not really bad condenser microphone, but condenser microphone that needs some help and needs its contacts clean. I'll press pound to go to this menu, and then I will request a callback number. Yeah, so the prompt to do that is pressing 5. And then it asks for the number you want to call back at. At this case, I'm going to request a call back at the ISDN phone instead. And it saves that, and then I'll hang up on it. Now when I place a return call when listening through my new messages, it'll place it to the ISDN phone, even though the person who called was the analog telephone. So let's demonstrate that.
Please enter your password, followed by pound. Hello, you have 1 new message. To listen to your first message received at 1:03 p.m. from Tanamex number 88430003. The caller requested a return call at 88430002.
So, you note it says the caller requested a return call at this number. So when I press 3, even though I left it from the analog phone, it's going to return this call to the ISDN phone. There we have it. So that works like you would expect it to.
To listen to this message again, press end of new.
So that's pretty much all of the advanced features for leaving a message, retrieving your messages, and all of that. So I guess what I'll demonstrate now is some of the Mailbox settings. So if we go back into our Mailbox and press 9.
Please enter your password. Hello. To change your password, press 1. To set your custom greeting, press 2. To change your name greeting, press 3. To enable call hang-up messages, press 4. To change to 24-hour time, press 5. To change to long date readback, press 6. To change your time zone, press 7. To go back, press 0.
So there's a few different options here. One, you can change your password. You can also set a custom greeting, so let's do that by pressing 3.
To update your name greeting, press 1.
Oh, that's name greeting.
To remove it, press 2. To go back, press 0. To change your password, press 1.
2 is the custom greeting.
Set your custom greeting. You do not need to ask the caller to wait for a beep before recording. The system will include this automatically. Record your custom greeting at the tone. Press pound when you are done.
This is my custom greeting that I'm recording at the tone. Please leave me a message when you're with your important information so I can actually call you back.
Your custom greeting has been set. To change your password,
So,
press 1.
if we call this Mailbox now, so yeah, I'll just do DND again. We'll get the custom greeting instead.
This is my custom greeting that I'm recording at the tone. Please leave me a message when you're with your important information so I can actually call you back. Begin recording at the tone. Hang up when you are done, or press pound for more options.
And that's how that works. So that's a very basic custom greeting. And now, since it's 1:05 p.m., it's actually a good time to demonstrate one of the other features. So this can read back times in either 24-hour time or regular AM/PM. So it's currently set for AM/PM. I'm going to change this one to be 24-hour time instead. So let's go back into our Mailbox, go into Mailbox settings, and change that.
Please enter your... Hello. To change your password, press 1. To change your custom greeting, press 2. To change your name greeting, press 3. To enable call hang-up messages, press 4. To change to 24-hour time, press 5. To change time format has been changed to 24-hour. To change your password, press 1. To change
And
your
also,
custom greeting, press 2.
You notice it only reads the part of the time that's important. So if I left this a few days ago, it would have said the day name and then the time. Or if it's like a year ago, it reads the full date. You can force it to read the entire date every single time if you want to, so I may as well enable that as well. I don't remember the option for it, so let's...
To change your password, press 1. To change your custom greeting, press 2. To change your name greeting, press 3. To enable call hang-up messages, press 4. To change to 12-hour time, press 5. To change to long date readback, press 6. To date readback format has been set to long. To change your
So
password,
let's go back
to
and let's
your
listen
new
to the
messages,
message. It'll
press
now
1.
read it in
To
24-hour
listen to your
time, and it'll
saved
read the
messages,
entire
press
date
2.
every single
To
time.
change your first message, received at 13:05, Tuesday, October 21, 2025, from Tandem X number 88430002. And that's how that works. End of new messages.
So yeah,
to listen
that's
to
how that
your
works.
new messages,
Let's
press
change
1.
those settings
to
back.
Listen to your, to change your password, press date readback format. Time format has been changed to 12-hour.
And let's
Change your
remove
password,
that
press
custom
1.
greeting.
To update your custom greeting, press 1. To remove it, press 2. To go back, your custom greeting has been removed. To change your password.
So, that's a few other options. I'm pretty sure that's everything in terms of that. And, I mean, I can show you changing a password. The reason it asks for pressing a pound at the end of your password is your password can be as long as you want. So, well, up to 32 characters, but nobody's going to go above that, right? So let's call it back and let's change our password to something unreasonably long.
Please enter your password.
Ooh, I messed it up.
Sorry, try again. Hello, you have no. To change your, please enter your new password, followed by pound.
So let's do all the digits. Ooh, hang on. Well, here, I'll just demonstrate that it makes sure that they match first.
Please re-enter your new password for verification, followed by... Sorry, the entered passwords did not match.
So if you
Change your
mistype like I
password,
did,
press 1. To set
it'll
your custom greeting,
verify
press 2.
the
To
two
change your
match.
name greeting,
So
press
let's
3.
do that
To
again.
enable, please enter your new password, followed by pound. Please re-enter your password has been updated.
So now we've updated the password. Let's go back in there and show that that works, I guess.
Please enter
So
your
if we try the old password.
followed by pound. Sorry, try again. Please enter your password,
not
followed
correct.
by pound. Hello, you have no new messages.
So that works.
To listen to your new, please your password. Thank you. Goodbye.
So that's a good demonstration of interrupting it and not having to wait for any of the prompts. So I think that's all the mailbox settings. The other things I'll show you is how to set up a new mailbox. So this ISDN telephone does not have any mailbox associated with it at the moment. So let's first call it from the analog phone. Get a call up, and then let's try calling it when it's busy, and we'll see that it says, sorry, the person you're calling is unavailable and has not set up their mailbox.
Sorry, the person you are calling is unavailable and has not set up their voicemail box. Please try your call again later.
So, if the voicemail system gets a call where the number that the call is for is not in the database already, it'll just say that. It'll just say, sorry, this person's unavailable, there's no mailbox set up. I would have loved to have it send back an ISDN cause code for user unavailable or user busy or something instead, but this is a limitation of VoiceXML. I can't seem to have any control over the call itself. As soon as you point a call towards a VoiceXML application, it immediately triggers answer supervision, and you cannot give a busy signal response or anything back through the ISDN network. So just a limitation in that. It's fine for what it was designed for, but in this case, it would have been better if I could have changed the result code of the call. But in any case, no mailbox setup. To set up a new mailbox, it's very simple. You just call your own number like you were dialing in originally. So let's do that, and it'll ask for a new password.
Hello, you are reaching the voicemail system from a new number. To set up your new mailbox, press 1. To exit, press 0.
So we'll press 1.
Please enter your new password, followed by pound. Please re-enter your new password for verification, followed by pound. Your password has been updated. To listen to your
And now
new
we're dropped
messages,
into the
press
user
1.
menu.
To listen to your...
And now that I've set up a fresh mailbox and I've recorded no name and no custom greeting, let's just show how that sounds. And I'll also demonstrate the abuse reporting thing. So let's put this phone on a call. Or we don't have to wait through the whole ring cycle. So this is the default greeting that you'll get for a new mailbox, and then I will leave a message and we'll report it for abuse, and I'll show you how that works.
Sorry, the person you are calling is unavailable. You may leave them a message after the tone. Hang up when you are done, or press pound for more options.
So, as you see, it just says the person's unavailable, and it just uses all the built-in prompts in the voicemail system. So, no greeting is required, but you can set it if you want. And I will press pound.
To listen to your
And hang up. And clearly, that was an abuse of the voicemail system, so now we're going to dial our mailbox from this phone, and we are going to demonstrate that you can report a message for abuse.
Please enter your password. Hello. You first message received at 1:11 p.m. from at 8843001. So,
And you'll notice that when you're listening to messages, if the voicemail system knows who that person is, as in there's a mailbox for them on the system, what it can do is it'll find the name greeting for that person if they have one recorded, and it'll say from, and it'll play their name greeting.
to place a return call, press 3. To save this message, press 7. To report this message as abuse, press 8. To move to the next message, press 9. To go back, press 0.
So we'll press 8 to report that for abuse because it's clearly very abusive.
By submitting this message for abuse, you consent to an administrator reviewing it. Message contents will not be released or shared with other members. To continue, press 1. To go back, press 0.
And that is the one prompt in the entire system that you cannot interrupt.
The message has been reported for abuse and will be reviewed by an administrator. The message number is 371. Please open a support ticket referencing this number if you need further assistance. Again, the message number is 371. End of new message.
And we're back to the user menu. So the purpose of this is, because I was intending to connect this to a telephone collectors network, and might still do that in the future, I'm not sure yet. The intention was we have a call recording policy where the only time you can record a call on the network is when both parties consent to that. And because of that, the only person who is allowed to listen to voicemails left for someone is the party it was intended for. And if someone were to leave an abusive voicemail, we want to be able to review it. So we wanted a clear way that the person the message was left for consents to that message being heard by administration. So that's how that works. So there is a simple web management interface, and we have an abuse report in the queue now. Now, this interface isn't complete yet, and it's pretty boring as well, so I didn't go over it. But here we can see the message ID number. So that's a unique serial number of the message in the database, when it was received, who it was for, and who it was from. So if I get over there by tabs, because I don't have a mouse, we see the message information. And if this was on a modern browser, this is on server 03, so it's not loading properly, but there is a HTML audio element that provides the message on the voicemail system for the administrator to listen through. So that's what that's for. And then we can go in here and we can check that checkbox for confirmed abuse, or we can leave it unchecked just for record keeping purposes if we were to keep track of how many times an invalid report was sent for each caller or whatever. So in this case, it was not abusive, so I'll just submit it as not an abusive report. So that's pretty much everything. I don't think there's anything else to show, and this is a long video already. So yeah, that's my custom voicemail system. And I have learned a lot about VoiceXML over the past 3 years I've been using it. And a lot of it you can only really learn by doing it. So if there's anyone out there who's trying to learn VoiceXML on Cisco gateways, I won't say good at it. I'm relatively experienced in it. I've made several functional applications other than this voicemail system as well. So if you ever need help with it, I am happy to do so. Just reach out in the comments section. And that's it.